Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Rhea Ripley received plenty of gifts after attending a non-WWE event ahead of WrestleMania 41 this weekend. Ripley is set to compete in a triple threat match for the Women's World Championship at the grandest stage of them all this weekend. WWE and UFC merged in September 2023 to form TKO Group Holdings. Both companies were owned by Endeavor and now operate under the same conglomerate. As part of the merger, WWE stars often attend UFC events and vice versa. Ripley was in the crowd at UFC 314 at the Kaseya Center in Miami, Florida on Saturday. She was there to support fellow Australian star Alexander Volkanovski, who defeated Diego Lopes via unanimous decision to become a two-time UFC featherweight champion. In the video below, Rhea Ripley was the recipient of a special package from the UFC. She accepted the gifts that included a sealed box of UFC cards, a UFC 314 Fútbol Clásico jersey, and a UFC 314 Sunset Pullover hoodie. The Nightmare was also wearing a UFC Alexander Volkanovski boxy tee from Tilly's. Australia has produced champions in WWE over the past few years, including Rhea Ripley, Buddy Murphy, Grayson Waller, Duke Hudson, Billy Kay, Peyton Royce, Bronson Reed, Indy Hartwell, Nia Jax, and more. On the other hand, the only other UFC fighter from Down Under to hold gold besides Volkanovski was Robert Whittaker, who is a former middleweight champion. The Judgment Day remains relevant in WWE, but they don't have the success they had when Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest were still part of the group. Ripley called the stable dead in a recent interview with the Toronto Sun. The current lineup of the Judgment Day includes Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, Raquel Rodriguez, JD McDonough, and Carlito. Juan Paulo David has been covering all things WWE for Sportskeeda since 2020 and has 8 years of experience in content writing. He holds a degree in agriculture but has been a fan of pro wrestling since a kid. This love for the entertainment sport led him to write about it. Juan writes well-researched articles not only to ensure that he presents readers with correct facts and figures, but also because he wants to learn as much as possible about the topics he writes about. Edge is Juan's all-time favorite wrestler. He grew up watching Edge and Christian and was a huge fan of their tag team. So much so that if he could go back in time, he would manage the duo and let them know that he can play their entrance themes with a kazoo. Besides wrestling, Juan loves to watch NBA or a Dortmund game. He also enjoys watching TV and movies during his free time. He works as a writer in SK's basketball division. The night sky over Las Vegas sparkled with more than just neon lights as one of WWE's most dominant forces. Rhea Ripley stepped onto the red carpet of the Power Within Women of Combat Sports Gala. The event, held 2 weeks ahead of WrestleMania 41, was an international celebration of female athletes who've redefined what it means to be powerful, fierce, and iconic. Ripley, still recovering from a kayfabe injury at the hands of Liv Morgan, was not slated to wrestle that night, but her presence caused an even bigger stir than any match would have. And it wasn't just the fans who showed up in droves, it was the presence. As if choreographed, the evening unfolded like a dream sequence for the reigning Women's World Champion. One that even the steel walls of Judgment Day couldn't have predicted. Rhea arrived wearing a high-fashion hybrid of her ring gear and haute couture. Black leather paired with sharp silver accents, her signature chain-link choker glinting under the camera flashes. Her hair was styled in a sleek undercut, one side dyed a bold amethyst, matching her piercing stare. The crowd erupted as she stepped out of the custom matte black SUV, not just because of her entrance, but because of what waited inside the venue. Reporters shouted questions. Fans held up handmade "May Me" signs, but the buzz was about the rumors. She's getting gifts tonight, big ones. Rhea simply smirked. "Let's see what you've got," she muttered under her breath as she headed inside. Just past the entrance, standing beneath a spotlight, was none other than WWE Hall of Famer and motorcycle enthusiast The Undertaker, grinning like a proud older brother. "You've earned this," he said, stepping aside to reveal a custom matte black Harley-Davidson emblazoned with purple flames, and the word "Mammy" etched on the gas tank in silver script. The bike was fitted with intricate detailing, skulls, roses, chains, and all. A perfect blend of dark femininity and raw power. I figured you needed something louder than the Judgment Day's entrance theme. Ripley was genuinely speechless. She stared at the machine like it was the WWE Championship itself. Then, without hesitation, she hugged Taker. Cameras flashed. The internet exploded. Inside the gala hall, a giant display drew the crowd's attention. A live tattoo artist was inking a portrait of Ripley. Mid-scream, hair flared, arm raised in victory. But this wasn't just any tattoo artist. It was Gakken, the internationally renowned Japanese artist known for combining traditional Irizumi with modern street style. The twist? He wasn't just showcasing his skills. He had pre-designed a set of temporary tattoos inspired by Rhea's journey, from her NXT UK debut to her WrestleMania 39 win. These tattoos would be released globally for fans to wear in support of her WrestleMania 41 return. "It's art for your army," he said through a translator. Ripley took one of the designs, a black and purple phoenix rising from chains, and pressed it to her forearm. "Looks like me," she laughed. "Feels like war." The main stage of the gala darkened, and the audience hushed. Suddenly, a spotlight illuminated a large, circular structure center stage, a steel cage. Then came the crackle of fire. A drone light show began swirling above the cage. In fiery letters, one message formed: "No cage can hold May May." The structure burst into flames, not real ones, but a safe, controlled pyrotechnic illusion. And from inside, a hologram of Ripley played on loop. It showcased her most dominant moments, from slamming Nia Jax to making Becky Lynch tap. Behind the spectacle stood Ripley's biggest surprise yet, her former adversary turned quiet admirer, Charlotte Flair. "I don't always give respect," Flair said, stepping up to the mic, "but when it comes to Rhea Ripley, she earned it. The hard way. WrestleMania 41. I don't care who wins, but if you're going to face Mommy, bring fire." Ripley and Flair exchanged a knowing glance. No handshake, no hug, just that cold, respectful nod between warriors. As Ripley moved through the crowd, something unexpected happened. A group of children approached her, each dressed in mini versions of her most iconic outfits. One wore the black and purple WrestleMania 39 look. Another had her old NXT gear. The smallest child, maybe 5 years old, had the war paint from her 2023 Survivor Series entrance. They handed her a box, hand-painted, glitter-stained, and chaotic in the most beautiful way. Inside were 41 handwritten notes from fans around the world, one for each year of WrestleMania. Each letter told a story of how Rhea inspired them. To lift weights, to stand up to bullies, to be unapologetically fierce. Ripley crouched down, opened the first letter, and read aloud. "You made me feel strong when I felt small. Thanks, Mommy." Tears shimmered in her eyes, not weakness, but proof of connection. She stood tall, held the box close, and whispered, "This one's coming to Mania with me." As the night came to a close, Ripley stood center stage, gifts around her, heart full, warpath set. Her final words to the crowd were as sharp as her elbow drops. "WrestleMania 41 isn't just my return. It's my resurrection. And trust me, I've got more than just gifts in my arsenal." The crowd roared. The camera panned out. Rhea Ripley, champion, icon, warrior, was ready. Not just for a match, but for a legacy. Let me know if you'd like a version of this turned into a YouTube-style script or social media promo too.